Welcome, YvetteMAmirian.
Yes.
What was it about the project that initially attracted you to the role?
One, I've always wanted to shoot in the country of Armenia. Like growing up, we went to Armenian school, learned about the country, all the history that I was visiting every single year, basically. So just the idea of marrying my two loves of acting and the country itself was like all that I could possibly need to dive deep into this role. So.
And what was it about the script and the story that drew you to the project as editor?
Well, I've done a few romantic comedies, and I have always loved the idea of doing something about my culture. It's certainly been a dream. How do we represent our culture better? And I love the idea of being able to do it through this kind of more mainstream genre, something that allows other people to be able to come into it. It's a very easy genre to get sucked into no matter what your background is. So it felt like a really cool way to showcase the country and the culture through the lens of this really beloved genre.
Now, you had to have chemistry with your co-star, Jesse. What was the process of developing the chemistry with Jesse?
So it was Krista and Jesse. So I was like a fan of Krista and her music previous to her getting cast as Liana. So when we were working on the script and I understood what the role was, I was like, this girl is perfect for this role. So I kind of reached out to her as a friend. I was like, hey, are you interested in this? Because it was her first acting job as well. And she was, and with Jesse and Judah had worked on two other features with him before. Jesse had just met; we had just found her through social media. So we got so close on set that we all got a cast tattoo on the back of our arms to kind of just remember the friendship we've now created. That's like a lifelong friendship. So it was really special. Yeah.
And for you, we have a lot of editing students watching our show. We're curious, what sequence or scene were you most proud of? Maybe it took a little while to get perfect, but one that went through a lot of what's called drafts until you reached where you were really happy.
There was a sequence in particular that kind of transitions actually when his character and Krista's character have a little bit of a falling out. Jesse has like a little bit of like a talk with Krista about how she needs to be able to move forward in faith and having faith in the fact that new doors will open. And there's this beautiful montage that comes after that. Initially, that montage existed in another place where it felt too early. So the opportunity to move it elsewhere after we had a chance to do some reshoots really opened up what that montage meant. We were able to add additional pieces to it and kind of hone it to be something that was a bridge between them having that falling out to them eventually coming back together that didn't quite exist on the page that it needed to. So that was a really beautiful collaboration between all of us, the producing team, the director, myself, our other producer, and our composer Armand, who was able to help us kind of bridge that gap as well. So.
And speaking of producing, how was it doing two premieres? One in Armenia
Yeah.
and one in the Warner Brothers studio lot.
So our producer, Annie Dastrian, our other producer, she had worked at Warner Brothers for 20 years. So she had a great connection there. So we were able to do a nice premiere at the Warner Brothers lot. So that was like a dream come true. And like just the community coming together and watching this amazing story about their own culture on screen was really special. But then, going across the water to Armenia, to a whole other culture and a whole other mindset of like what people in their country are portrayed kind of on screen, and they weren't used to that. So when they saw, they're like, wow, this is like a very accurate and also relatable feeling that we're watching ourselves on screen. And it was the first time it was ever portrayed that way. So it was a really, really interesting feeling hearing that crowd speak about it after we showed the movie in Armenia.
And for you, do you think now it's going to open up the doors for other stories, Armenian stories to be told, and maybe a little more international European stories that sometimes are not told in the United States?
I think I don't want to speak for everybody on the team, but for most of us from the diaspora, my understanding is, from the director writing the project to all of us coming on board, one of the big goals was we wanted to be able to showcase the country in the hopes that it would open up more doors for more Armenian filmmakers, for more stories specifically to be told there, to be able to showcase the beauty of the country. Our cinematographer, Mako, did an incredible job capturing it on screen and gave us a lot of pieces to work with. So I think for all of us, that was kind of the goal, is how do we portray the country, the people accurately, our stories accurately, to hopefully open up more doors for more Armenian representation, but also for more outside projects that may not have anything to do with Armenia to be able to go and film there.